All right. Anyways, there's a lot of garbage out there, and we like to swim in it.
God bless.
I'm not. Sometimes I don't know why we do it, but it does feel fun. At the end of the day, that's Anyways, first thing delivered hot and fresh by you. So, give us your mindset, your ball rolling here. What we're looking at.
Yeah, this is just another feather in the anti-science cap that MAGA has been wearing for a very long time.
Sure.
But it definitely brought up a broader question for me. So essentially, the story is this ecologist, Megan O'Rourke, who was overseeing federal research at the
At a university, right? Yeah, somewhere in there.
No, she wasn't at a university. She was working
no.
for the U.S.
NIFA.
Department of Agriculture.
Yeah,
Yep,
sorry.
working for the National Institute of Food and Agriculture, which is an agency that gets funding as part of, whatever federal program, whatever, and then figures out which universities deserve to get a cut of that funding. Do they have merits?
Okay.
Like, blah, blah, blah. So she was basically in charge of figuring out who was doing good science and where to put the money, which...
Efficiency, DOGE. Take notes. Go ahead.
Sure. But specifically, her position at NIFA was related to climate change and agriculture, how they interact, how, whatever. So whatever science and research could be in that realm. And of course, because it has climate change attached to it, DOGE just cut that out of the federal budget. So she lost her job. And she is now launching a bid for Congress in New Jersey. I believe she wants I would assume the House of Representatives, right? You don't just jump into
House, yep.
the Senate.
The
and it might even
the article quoted it as like the most flippable Republican seat in New Jersey, is how it was described.
Well, I wasn't sure actually if this was state politics or national
This
politics.
is national.
It is, okay.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Fair enough. And I know New Jersey is fairly conservative, right? Is that right?
Huh? What in what way? As a blue state, it's conservative? Maybe. As conservative, it's conservative? Hell to the no. It's a blue state. What are you talking about?
All right.
Yeah.
So anyways, I don't know. I'm interested in the idea of a different professional background to getting into Congress, because most people in Congress have a law degree.
Right.
I think something like 70% of people in the House have a law degree.
And everyone else feels like they just work in PR. There's no one with actual... I know where you're going with this, sorry, but yeah.
No, well, I guess my thought process was, in terms of navigating the legalese of passing legislature, sure, that matters.
There is a natural fit there. I agree.
But as far as broadly being an expert in something, or having... I'm not to say lawyers don't have critical thinking skills, but I feel like lawyers think differently than, say, an ecologist would. Somebody with a PhD in ecology. So I'm here for the... I'm all about getting less lawyers in Congress and more scientists, because it just seems to me...
Lawyers argue in a made-up framework. Not to say that made-up framework isn't... It's law, right? So it matters. But it's still a made-up framework by humans. Scientists tend to study more what actually is and what's fact and how things work in that way, right? Yeah.
It's a great way of putting it.
Right.
Well, because you have lawyers who... I mean, there are defense lawyers who get paid to defend murderers, and they for sure know their client is guilty, but they have a job to do.
They just work in their framework. Right.
Right, exactly. Right, yeah. So when you have other people who maybe have poor motivations and take money and are out for special interests, being a lawyer is the perfect person to be. Not to say that, somebody who is a scientist is uncorruptible or unimpeachable. Obviously not, but it's just more broadly speaking, I feel like they are better qualified to navigate understanding the implications of the legislation they're passing.
Yes, it's still a personal preference for me and you to say that we prefer this type of person and this type of decision making that they use, which lives in a factual reality, which is what we want, because that's what we're actually fighting against. But obviously, if someone was more religious in any shape or flavor, not just one, but any of them, they would prefer, not just religious, but whatever belief system you have. More of this would be a lot better, of course, to me. Of course.
And it just,
We wish her well.
not to keep beating that drum. Oh, well, for sure we wish her well. I don't know I didn't really pick apart how well of a chance she has to actually flip it, or if she's even the leading Democrat in whatever's going on over there, but...
This gay man with 4 husbands and 7 children will give her $50. Straight from the podcast. Go ahead, sorry.
Bro, in a year's time, you're gonna have like 17 husbands. It just that number's creeping up slowly.
There's a lot of jokes in this podcast, everyone out there, which there should be, but I'm actually writing down giving this person money because I think that's good. I'm gonna do that.
Wow, God bless.
Sorry, go ahead.
Hey, we appreciate you.
Hey, God bless is a little bit of like an insult to me if you know me, but carry on.
I use that as a general well-wishing, but I hear you.
Of course. It's our safe space. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I have to keep beating the drum that the fact that the right is just so fucking wrong about climate change is just crazy work to me. In this day and age, in the year of our Lord 2025, where everybody who lives anywhere in the continental United States has noticed a shift in your weather patterns. I know that I have. I know that people in the South have. I know that people in Alaska do. Like, there is just your own personal experience over the last 10 to 15 years to sit there and tell me that things don't feel like like the climate is changing faster than it should be. I just don't know what to say to you anymore.
Which shouldn't even be how you go by. You should go by the data and evidence and the scientific work that goes into it. But you're also correct on top of that. So it's kind of like a double refusal there, which is...
Well, I guess to my point, though, those people would typically speak more to personal experience than they would some faceless experts in the shadows.
Depends on who
and
you're
their
talking to, you mean?
numbers.
So if you're reaching...
Right.
Yeah, no, true.
So to me, the people who generally speaking wouldn't listen to the data and would prefer to listen to their own personal experience, they must be feeling it. They have to be.
Yeah, and I think a hot take real quick. Tell me what you think. It's not people who deny it necessarily. It's just that's so low on their list of like important things. You got a lot of people that would vote Trump who also believe in climate change. They just like immigrants and inflation, which
Sure.
Anyways, but yeah.
This is true. Which also those people scare me because the implications of losing a stable climate is...
Yeah, sorry for almost cutting you off, but I totally agree. Like, as I said that and then I stopped, I'm like, wait, but that's bad. That's still bad because that doesn't change the fact that the reality of the threat is the factual, scientifically studied reality of this threat is just bigger, and you just don't care. No, it's tough.
I mean, there's still a bit of a question mark.
Jesus will be disappointed. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Oh, no. There is still a bit of a question mark as to how bad things could get. We still don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that we don't know should scare you.
No, but who cares about that? What you're saying is it's going to be bad. We don't care if we're 85 and someone who happened to be conservative listened to us talk and finds us at the end of our life and is like, look, it's not that bad. It's going to be bad. It doesn't matter that it won't be bad in a way where you could hang it over our heads before we die. I hope so, because then I get to live life in golf by the end of my years. Listen, I'm still trying to be selfish. But yeah.
God bless.
It's still, your point is, it's going to be bad. Just will be eventually.
Right, we just don't know how bad. Right, that is correct. But growing food objectively is going to get a lot harder, which is what this person in particular was trying to help fund research on how agriculture can adjust to climate change. But
and getting more people
Feeding
like her
stuff
in
isn't important, I guess.
You hope your rudder changes towards being smart about it and not being smooth brain about the actual crisis that is coming. But I think you would agree. I have one more thing to bring up about this, but I want to say this before. I think you would agree that the bigger problem is still money. You could get all the scientists you want in there. People are people. If the money is flowing like it is with Citizens United, this is part of, and we always bring it back to Citizens United, folks, because it's true. It's true. You get a lot of people with special interests where scientific evidence, actual research into the reality of the situation yields a danger to large companies' businesses. They will spend large amounts of money to make it so that people do not vote in the interest of what it should be voted in. Yeah.
And
it's tough.
It is Oh, you said you had one more piece, so go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead, me. Holy, am I freaking cross-eyed?
Go.
So one thing I took away from reading this is the amount of people that take for granted good work done by nameless people. It is very tiring. I think understanding the actual mountain of work it takes to go into scientific research and exploring the unknown. Me and you knowing that as laymen, we don't work in these fields, we don't do this research, but as laymen, knowing that happens, we respect it, even without putting a face to this. Like, this person had my respect already without knowing who it was. Now, we know her because she's running now, but there's thousands, tens of thousands of people like her that are doing any sort of random, even if it's just research into your local lake that serves a few community waterways in the middle of nowhere. Like, it's important stuff, man. And we take for granted that these people oftentimes make way less than any private interest, and they do it. The only reason they do it is because they have goodwill and empathy towards society and other human beings. And the amount that we take them for granted is actually sickening to me. It's the biggest thing I took away from this article reading it. I just felt that person out there that laughs when DOGE fires her. Now, we hope she wins so that she can middle finger them right to their face, but like, they won't always win. She might not. I read the article. There's like 7 other people running in the Democratic primary alone. It's a competitive seat.
Gotcha.
Like I said, in New Jersey. So, but man, like, we hope, because we need people who can give a voice to those that are doing incredible scientific work that just goes for, including rangers that were fired. I've seen multiple videos because I love the outdoors. God. We go outdoors every year a little bit ourselves. Blah blah blah. You know, you see these rangers getting fired, and they're like, I was getting paid peanuts, and I loved my job. And you're just like, this is waste, fraud, and it's not. Because I say that in my mind laughing because I know this is exactly what was going to happen. This is a confirmation of what I knew was going to happen. But a lot of people watch it, and they're like, oh, no, I thought it was going to be waste, fraud, and abuse. And we have to be empathetic about it, being like, it was, like, this is bad. Yeah, you can't take these people for granted. It sucks.
It is crazy. There's a bunch of thankless, low-paid folks out there doing very good work, and when you just get shit on by somebody named Big Balls at DOGE who's 23 years old, like,
and people need to hear this in the internet age. They do work that isn't profitable. It's not getting done when it goes away. It's not getting done, and that's bad. Go ahead. Sorry.
It's not a given. Especially, I mean, to me, teachers come to mind. The only reason we have teachers and we can fill schools is because these people care about their work.
Yep.
It's certainly not for the pay.
No. There is such a good feeling that anybody would expect someone to have that you get out of mentoring and teaching, that it's balancing out the fact that we treat them like garbage. But they know that they got to be there for the kids, so they get trapped in a way. And
they do get trapped because you know what happens.
It's so dumb.
Is they go, well, if I'm not here, you just have one less teacher,
dude,
right? Like you have, but the kids are still there. You have one less teacher, but the kids are still there. So it's crazy to me that I don't know. I will never forgive the MAGA movement. Their underpinning just being broadly anti-science, anti-intellectualism, and just shitting on the people quietly doing good work for dumb cheap.
And all of it is because of anti-government sentiment with no interest in nuance or fine-combing anything at all. Just zero
Absolutely
interest.
Correct.
Don't give a shit.
Right.
And it's bad.
Smaller government's always good. That's what they believe. And that's just like, okay, let's stop paving roads then. You know what I mean? Like, let's get rid of all of it then. I don't know. Like, I can sympathize
and by the way, why is it always smaller
bloated
government in the sense of science and research, but it's never smaller government when we invade cities with National Guard? And I know I'm saying obvious shit. It's just annoying, bro. It's annoying.
Or when we send billions to Israel to just create another artificial famine, right?
Dude, even Israel's a drop in the bucket compared to other shit. Dude, fucking cut Israel off. Let me be clear about that real quick. But now that being said, there's so many other things they need to do first. And, you know, we always get on rants here on this, you know. But whatever, we don't care. We're going to say the same shit because it's true. Cut the DOD first. So dumb. So sick of it. There's so many things you can cut way before you cut Israel. Which, by the way, again, cut Israel. I don't give a fuck. Fuck them. Eat my ass. But yeah, there's so many other things.
Just bumping their budget up to a trillion plus each year. This is Trump's new budget, bumping the Pentagon's budget up to over $1 trillion each year, and they haven't passed an audit in how fucking long? But we're cutting park rangers.
Exactly.
Makes me want to blow my brains
make
out.
Sense.
It makes me want to blow my
sense.
brains out.
Right. It doesn't make sense. And anybody who loves the shit that's going on doesn't actually bother to look at the details, because when you look at the details, it doesn't make sense. So all you can do if you support it is just be like, well, I haven't read that, or I haven't seen that, but I support the president. You know how many times in an interview you see someone say that? Well, I haven't read that. Well, I haven't seen that.
Oh my God.
But I support the president. It's like, okay, well, why don't you read it? You fucking, and then maybe you won't. Whatever, dude. I don't want to get too hard. We're all Americans. We love each other. We kumbaya. Can't be too hard on them, but we get frustrated with you folks. You know who you are. You know who you are. All right.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next. Yeah. This is something I shared. A little garbage I saw. And I'm gonna go off on, you know, the typical thing I always go off on with trusting other humans and immigration and all that. But before I do that, I actually watched the video. I'm gonna make us watch it too here, I think.
Sure.
Because it's real quick. So just to lay the groundwork, it's like, okay, there was protests in Osaka, Japan about immigration policies, right? Which is sentiment that's been bubbling up around the world for how long? Now years. It's not anything new, right? You would say. This has been like going on for like, for God's sakes, like Brexit was 2017, I think. So
yeah,
going on
and it was boiling
years.
Before Brexit. So
it's been a minute, right? Okay.
Yep.
So right away, before I even play the video, it says thousands protest. Very generous. Very generous. And I want to give context before I even show this so that I'm not like playing propaganda. Not that it is, but this is a city of, 2.7 million people. All right. This is not a significant number of people in this city, right? So in the first place, shame on Google News or I think maybe it was Reddit. This seemed to be more, what I'm trying to say is I read a headline here. I slapped it in there, further researched it later, and what I'm realizing is like this is played up because of the anti-immigrant sentiment. I think helps media get clicks. So this is the kind of stuff where we talk about the media is so garbage. It's because why did I see this? Thousands of protests in Japan, you know what I'm saying, as opposed to any, which doesn't seem significant. But all right, let's play it. City of 3 million people almost. Alright, so I looked a lot. I didn't find a lot on this. This is like one of the only things I found. This is the only video. Look at this. Look to the right of the video. Nobody's there. It's just a line of like 3 people.
Sure.
It's amazing, dude. And then they said significant gatherings in Tokyo. This is all I saw.
Bro, they
got a lot of police too, because you can tell the police on the other side. There's police. It's the people with the vests. There's a crap load of police there.
I'm just saying, I'm seeing some real small signs there. They got to work on their signs.
And then wait for the end of this. Here we go.
親の世代を安心させてあげられないのも辛いし、私の子供世代なんてどうなってしまうんだろう。日本は単一民族国家です。それを今の石破さんの勝手な政策では言えなくなってしまいます。
All right, so in the first place, saying that your country is mono-ethnic, which I looked it up, because that felt white nationalist-y to me. Mono-ethnic. Yeah,
I mean, it's just nationalism. It's just nationalism.
No, it's not even that. When I looked it up, it does mean, like, if you live in a culture that's 85% or more the same ethnicity, you're mono-ethnic. That doesn't mean that, like, it's a racist state or this or that. You know what I'm saying? It just means that you happen to... But she did say it like she doesn't want that there, which is like, okay. But like, okay, like Japan's obviously way different than America. But
yeah,
let's give her all the credit there, the speaker there, right? We don't know, we don't live there. I got it. Let's give her all the credit there. Japan has very little immigration, dude. Very little immigration. So all of that.
Actually,
go ahead. Oh, am I wrong?
You are slightly wrong on this because I saw your blurb in the doc, and I looked up Now, take this article with a grain of salt. It doesn't seem like it's bad faith, but according to these numbers, government data shows that Japan's foreign resident population reached approximately 3.4 million in 2024, up from 2.8 million in 2019. So that's across the entirety of...
Yeah, but foreign-born is misleading there. Are they citizens?
Foreign residents. I don't know that
Foreign
they're citizens. It
residents?
seems like they're workers. I don't know if the visas are temporary. But so essentially they have 3.4 million, mostly Vietnamese, Chinese, and Filipino, employed in sectors facing acute labor shortages
Okay,
such as construction, caregiving, and agriculture.
I am seeing a
Now, it's
gradual
still not a lot.
opening of immigration policies to attract foreign workers. While the
Yes,
country
and I think
remains
this has...
selective about immigrants. Look, all right.
Again,
Fair enough.
not a crazy number. I don't know what the
And there's not a crazy
total-
number of people that are protesting this too, right? So keep both of those things. in mind,
Correct.
I guess. But I just, and I kind of set
That's
this
like-
up
that's
by
like-
saying that this all started like almost a decade ago, if not a decade ago plus. Blaming all the problems on immigration is so tired. It's
yeah,
so
sure.
tired. Like, it's so stupid. I saw someone say something the other day about Trump rolling out National Guard into D.C. They were just like, you say there's crime, so there needs to be National Guard, like, deployed. It's like, is there no middle ground? Is there no police and, like, rule of law? Yeah, there is. And they framed it that way because it's insane and you're dumb. You're dumb for, like, fear-mongering. This idea that, like... Another thing I saw in the last week, too, that just annoys the shit out of me. This idea that, like, immigrants come in and then push housing prices up as if, like, Jose gets 5 jobs and owns, like, 6 condos in, like, a year. You know what I'm saying? It makes no sense. So I just get so tired of, like, the immigration blaming. If you
Sure.
don't, as a default, trust other human beings, your only excuse is that you live in a society that fails you with a robust system of, like, law that is fair, at least enough in ways. I know that's saying a lot, but otherwise it's just like, dude, immigrants come in and you have the law, and your default should be to trust other human beings so that we can build community, build a society that's generally better, where we like each other, don't fucking hate each other. You know what I'm saying? And again, the biggest annoyance I have is the idea that immigrants come in and, like, drive up crime. It's totally disproven by the data, no matter what study you look at. That's been facts for years, decades now, about immigrants. And it just ignores the fact that there is a system of law that we have in the society, at least that me and you live in. It just makes no sense. It's like the fear-mongering is based in no sense at all. No sense. Immigrants do crime, get arrested, get prosecuted. Citizens do crime, get arrested. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you have any thoughts at all? Just annoying as shit to me. But
Yeah, I'm broadly agreeing with you here. And I did look it up. Japan has 124 million people, so having 3 million foreign workers, who I don't even know are on a pathway to citizenship, they might just be living and working in the country. That's less than 2%.
That's
So
still
that's
small.
crazy.
yeah.
That's crazy. That lady who was speaking at the end of the video, if she was a native, like, white American in this day and age, she'd be bugging out because less than 2%. Like, what are we doing? That's
And
crazy to fucking march about
that's where
that.
I still want to go on my screed about immigrants, because I always want to. But that's where I'm even questioning the source. Roots TV Nigeria, 13 hours ago. It's only got 130 views. It's like, why would
Well,
Nigeria be posting Japanese news? Like, this whole thing smells like shit. It's very few people who are voicing this opinion. And I'm not even saying that the general populace doesn't even feel this way, but they don't feel it enough to go out and protest in the streets. Like, come on. So, because anti-immigrant sentiment is a thing. Like we said 100 times already, even today. Like, it is a thing. I don't think it's founded in much reality, but it is a thing. So, it's just tired blaming everything on immigrants. So tired, dude.
Yeah, it is. It's an interesting thing, especially in the U.S. To bitch about immigration in the U.S. I mean, I understand
It's-
wanting people to go through the system, but to not understand that we are just entirely a nation of immigrants, I just will never.
It's you can point out the nonsense by saying like there was never like there's been plenty of times in our nation's history there wasn't a robust like guardrails of letting people in, and we still got to where we got. This is the thing about Make America Great Again. It's like you're saying these things we have to do that we never did in the past when we were number one. When you're saying that you're trying to get back to, so like that makes
When
no
we
fucking
were-
sense. That makes it just doesn't make sense. That's where you're
Yeah.
like, okay, that actually doesn't have to do with this. It doesn't. What was the screening like at Ellis Island? Oh, you don't have terrible diseases. Welcome. I can't imagine it was much more than that. I'm talking about my ass. Can't imagine it was much more than that. Like, come on now. It's just so stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
So stupid. Let's talk about this real quick. The anti-immigrant sentiment, because it relates to it a little bit, so I'll leave it. Maybe even split this off as another one. The anti-immigrant sentiment is a result of people feeling like they're getting left behind in economies, which we wouldn't even disagree with, correct? And wanting to blame something, to have a scapegoat. There is an anger about the distribution in society that is being directed towards immigrants. So here in the United of States that we live in, the opposition party right now is Democrats, or even, let's not even say that. Just as an opposition force to this sentiment, knowing that Trump's in office, how do you get people to vote for you? Knowing that people want to see their lives materially improve. Like, how would you approach that? Like, what would your message
for the U.S.?
be? What's that?
Specifically for like U.S. politics?
Yeah, specifically for where we live. I'll go first because I shouldn't have put you on the spot like that. I'm asking this because I already have a. You just sell, and you can't sell this in this country. But this is still what I would do. It'd be a failing message, so I understand that these messengers probably don't do this. But you just sell government as a use to redistribute. The very thing that the common American is afraid of because they feel like it's communism, and when they hear redistribution, it's communism. You use government, and you already have been to some extent with Social Security and other things. And I've said this to you before on a couple other podcasts. You use government as a vehicle to actually materially change people's life, whether it's single-payer healthcare, they see it, they have it now, it's cheaper.
Yep.
Whether it's just like doing universal basic income. And also, by the way, just to blunt the whole criticism you'd always get with saying this, you still try to deliver out redistributive benefits as efficiently as possible with minimum staff as possible. Because you want to tax and you want to deliver out benefits to the have-nots to try your best with society to keep it, that's what I would do. That's where I think Democrats keep falling on their face, and where someone like Zoran actually does better now. Whether or not, I don't even know his policies. I'm not even going to say that, like, I absolutely would vote for him if I lived in New York City. But I haven't dug into it. I want to, like, be, like, super clear, not be an asshole. But I do know from reading enough and surface level, he's trying to use government to give solutions to things like grocery stores. And, like, that's actually tangible for people. That's why that's working.
Yep.
Nothing else is going to work. People actually feel a material not well off, like they weren't expecting, or like they know that it's worse off than it was before. And if you don't actually have a solution, they're going to be steered towards this anti-immigrant. So that's a whole thing. But any thoughts? Sorry, I put you.
It's just it's such an easy scapegoat, and it's just a tale as old as time. But yeah, you're right. I mean, the only way you can combat people's cynicism with just the government being able to do anything good is to prove that you can do something good as a governmental system. I mean, say what you want about the payouts during COVID when a whole bunch of people were put on furlough or unemployed, but that was materially showing people that, hey, we can provide for you in a time of crisis.
And Trump was no dummy. He signed the first ones. He didn't do all of them.
Oh,
he signed the first
right,
ones.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have to prove why the government can actually do something good, especially when the free market right now is doing such a bang up job at being the source of most of your economic grief.
Yep.
and I'm not going to sit here and say get rid of the free market, but like that literally is the job of the government in a capitalistic system, is to buffer the pitfalls of a free market economy. So
And you have to do it in a way that's
please start doing
sustainable.
that.
And you have to do it in a way
Yeah,
that's
you can't just
sustainable.
write checks.
Right.
I mean,
You have to figure it out. That's where it gets it's hard. Leadership is fucking hard.
that's
But you
where
don't-
being good
but you
at,
don't just
at governing
abandon
comes
good
in.
Right. But you don't just abandon good, well, not just being good at governing, but like coming up with, like, I don't know what that looks like.
Well, it's certainly more than just blaming immigrants and doing
No,
nothing
100%.
else,
But what I
right?
mean by that, yes, correct. What I mean by that is I don't know what that looks like as far as like how big of an employment, like how many employees the government should have. Because again, even though I'm a leftist and I tell you to your face I'm a leftist, I still believe that we should have as few people as possible, because that means we pay out benefits to everyone, including those people, as much as possible.
Right.
So that's where that makes sense to me. You want to really minimize that so that you can. And dude, I'm trying to reclaim the word redistribution, but I don't think we ever will in this country. But like redistribution, that's what it is. That's what fucking things are, anyways. That's what people need to understand. Like Social Security is a redistribution. Like federal income progressive tax, which it still is progressive as we stand here today. I'm pretty sure, right? It goes up.
It is.
In incomes. Okay, it's still a progressive income tax. That's a
It gets weird at the
redistribution
top.
in a way, right? Medicaid people probably take out more than they pay in tax because they're low income. It's fucking redistribution. Because I get so tired of these interviews with people who are like, I voted for Trump, but I can't believe it. I'm on Medicaid. He's going to take it away. And I'm like, you're on Medicaid? You voted for Trump? And I'm like, what? Every time. It never fails. I'm like, that doesn't make sense to me. How could you?
Were you not listening?
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it's a redistribution,
crazy.
people. The same
Were you
people
not
that are
paying
like, I'm a
attention?
Republican, and I don't like communism, and I don't like redistribution. I vote for Trump. And he's like, oh my God. Anyways.
This is where we need to get past the cultural cynicism. Otherwise, we will have no government left.
And
We will have no democracy left.
Correct. And in this day and age, Trump has the upper hand, or people like Trump who can play the game. Reality isn't playing the game. So the only way you can play the game is somehow deliver government in a way that is less on employees and way more on delivering actual benefits people feel and see in their life. And they can say, there it is. Like, this is why we're doing this. Because people are losing that in the internet age.
Yeah.
It's
It's
not
just
enough.
pure cynicism.
Right. Now, I would have been the same, stand on my business with the word redistribution before the internet age too, but especially in the internet age, like, you've got to combat with something. It's got to be government where people can see this is it and it's actually helping me day to day. So.
Yeah. We say this a lot too, and this is the only way the Democrats will ever be able to gain any sense of credibility again, is by proving that the government can do that, and they've not been able to do it thus far. And again, like, we can hum and haw because Biden did a lot of great things, but when you're talking about materially in people's lives felt within a year of you being elected, there's not a lot of that.
No, and I don't
There's
think
not a lot of that.
I don't think Biden had to blame himself for Trump getting reelected, but I do think someone like Biden should reflect on the decisions he made because Trump got reelected, if that makes sense. And like, in general, the
Sure.
opposition has to, and say to themselves, you can keep saying that Biden did a great job all you want, and that can be true. And yet, because we lost, is that really the direction you want to continue to march in? Doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't make sense
Well,
to me.
yeah,
You've got to figure out how to keep people's rights. And if keeping people's freedoms and rights, which include and most importantly voting in a fair way, no matter where you are, you've got to fight in ways that will win. That's where people are like, oh, but ethically, like, independent redistricting is still the right thing to do. Of course it is in the long term. But in the meantime, what's the best way to defend people's freedoms and rights? Right now, it's to fight back. Now, I think that Gavin Newsom and Democrats can be more clear about how once we fight back and get power, we're going to make everyone do independent redistricting. Go fuck yourself. That should be the end goal.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, what are we doing? Taking the high road for what? To just sell our rights and freedoms off? Like, that doesn't make sense. Yeah. I'm going on rants, but yeah. Appreciate it.
Well, I mean, taking the high road when there's the barrel of a gun pointed at your temple is not the move.
Another
certainly.
way to put it. Yeah. Right.
It's not the way to go.
Another good way to put it.
Yeah. And to be fair, I have a broader bone to pick with Joe Biden. I do think he lost the 24 election just because of the way that
Sure.
he didn't step aside, but that's neither here nor there.
But no matter how you feel about that, they need to be reflecting on the fact that they lost, especially those that continue to say
Yeah.
Biden did a great job. Okay, that's fine, but you need to bifurcate that between Biden did a great job in the sense that, like, he passed some things that are good, and guess what? We got to still change because we lost.
Right.
Because we
Right.
lost. Like,
Yeah.
what? Like, yeah.
And the Democrats have not had that come to Jesus moment yet, and I don't know that they will until
I don't.
all of the leadership there is either booted out of office by electing a different Democrat, or they just fucking retire or die.
That's where
'Cause-
that's where my cynicism drives into overmax and yours doesn't every time we have this conversation, because the voters elect these people. We keep what does that mean? Oh, we got to change the heart of the Democrats and their direction needs to change. What does that even mean? It means people need to vote different people in, and they fucking don't do it. So
yeah, that's because nobody shows up to primaries.
that's
though.
well then what
There's-
it's what it is, dude. This
I
is
know.
this is what we're operating.
Because, like,
in.
say,
Yeah.
I promise you that even because I agree with you to a large extent that, like, why the fuck did Mitch McConnell keep winning his seat? How
Dude,
does that even possible?
You got it.
Oh, you have to also like, I'm a little sympathetic to the person who can't make it to the primary, but they get to the ballot box on election day and they go, well, I know that I'm a Republican or I know that I'm a Democrat, so I'm just going to pick them. But to them, it was not either it wasn't as accessible or it wasn't on their mind or they forgot about it and they didn't go to the primary. So now you are just stuck with the person that was there. And you have your party loyalty, but you might not necessarily like Mitch McConnell, but you are a Republican. You
I
get what
agree.
I'm saying?
I agree, because step one
So we need to make
needs to be
primaries
what you're
more
saying.
accessible.
There's a lot more steps from what we were saying before, but to your point,
Right.
step one needs to be
This is where
you make voting as accessible as possible. This is where Democrats frustrate people like me and you, because they get into power and
God,
they
I
don't do
know.
shit about this. And it's like, why? I don't. What do you?
God, I know.
Why isn't ranked choice voting everywhere? Makes no sense. Oh,
I
because it
know.
threatens their
And
power. It's like, oh, fuck
this
you. Then.
this is where
Eat my-
this is where
yeah.
my cynicism goes into overdrive, because if we can't ever get the right people in office to make the election changes that are necessary, right? Like, getting over that hump to
Right,
then
it's a
change the
self-defeating
infrastructure
thing.
of democracy. Like, it's like, fuck, you're almost stuck. You're stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Self-defeating thing, negative feedback loop, whatever the fuck you want to call it. You know what I mean?
Well, to
Right.
get out of this fucking hole that we're in,
Yeah,
you need a
right.
big
But the
movement
whole-
where
yeah.
people do participate, where people are going to primaries. You should have the same number of participation in
Here
your
comes-
primaries as you do election day.
You're right, and here comes cynical me again. I've always thought that, like, unless society collapses, you don't get that energy enough. You don't. People just doing their
Well,
thing.
we're getting there.
And I can't even blame them.
We
I
are
can't
getting there.
I don't think either one of us can blame them. Like, I'm doing my thing, you're doing your thing. Like, we own homes in this society. Like, you would not say that we're not well off. Like, hell to the no. So
Sure.
we're all.
There needs to be
can
a
I
soft
say?
collapse, and I think there is kind of a
We're all
soft collapse.
susceptible.
But go ahead.
Dude, it took me that long to think of a word. I think I'm dying. Anyways, we're all susceptible to getting into that, mindset. So I get it. It's just, it sucks because it feels like, and this is anecdotal, I'm going to sound like an asshole, but I've always voted and I've always felt this way without needing that push. But yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, but you and I are just
We're
plugged
a
in for some reason. We
Special
find this
kind of
stuff.
stupid. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to be a little more generous than that, but
Oh,
essentially,
Okay, yeah.
I think we enjoy engaging with it. I mean, I don't know if you
Of
remember the
course I
Ron
do.
Paul 2012 days, but you
Of
and I
course I
were
do.
both
Yeah.
like, since then. I feel like we've been politically engaged more or less. I don't think I've missed an election.
And I still hold
Um,
libertarian principles dear socially, and when it comes to federally employing people, I would only have the minimum necessary so as to pass
Sure.
on benefits ultimately to the people as much as we can for that purpose. Because sometimes, especially
yeah.
post DOGE, people are like, "You're cruel. You do DOGE." Fuck no, I wouldn't do DOGE. That's the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. What I'm saying is minimal employment so that benefits can be passed on. In this society, we have people who could become unemployed for a longer term of time even, but the way that we set society up, nobody goes without for too long and it works out.
Yeah.
Right.
You're talking about actual government efficiency as opposed to whatever the dumb brain dead shit DOGE ended up
If
doing.
anybody wanted to
That's what
clip
you're
this
talking
out and slander me, what they would say is I'm talking about a utopia.
Love utopias. They've never not worked out.
Listen to this so democratic socialist talk about his ideal world. You want that? And they're all knitting at home. Fuck no, I don't want that. Sorry. Anyways.
Listen, some of the most heinous things have been done in the name of achieving a utopia, Cyril. So,
What is that even? Who tried to? Oh, like the Nazis? Because they
the
thought they were
Nazis,
doing
the communists. What are you talking
you know what?
about?
Dude, that is. I don't know why. I didn't
When
think-
people
I
start
just-
talking about utopia, you should
my
definitely take it
mind
with a
wasn't
grain of
there,
salt.
but yeah. Oh, a utopia is literally. That's why they would slander me with it. Of course, it is not possible, friends. All we can do,
Right.
ready? We stare at the world that is. By the way, it's all garbage. That is garbage, and you try
Swim
to
through it.
make the most sense you can of it. And then you realize that no society even does even make the most sense out of it, and you say, oh, fuck, well, now inside of this framework even, how can we do the best we can? And then you realize you still only do like 60% of the best you can inside of what you should be doing. Anyways, you get it.
Wow.
It's a challenge.
telling
It's
me
like
humans
every
are
win
imperfect?
is like 0.15 steps forwards, and every loss is like 0.14 steps back. So you see how it's just 0.01 increments every fucking time. But you gotta, hey, don't. But you gotta still keep your eye on the ball of a better tomorrow and keep pushing it. Keep pushing it.
It's true. Don't let your cynicism
Don't let your
resign you from your
cynicism
humanity.
Find you starting a YouTube channel and then getting popular, railing on stuff like this, but then all of a sudden you lose your sense of way and you're in a strip club doing lines of blow, just enjoying the money that rolls in from it. Anyways, I'm rambling, but
I'd like to bring up our first sponsor, Peter Thiel. He's sponsoring our episode today.
Peter Thiel looks like the guy who is taking blood from his son to try to stay 18, but then Peter Thiel takes his blood after he takes his son's blood and puts it in him. Like, he looks fucking weird, man.
Yeah. Again, somebody else who would advocate for their utopia. Don't fucking trust those people.
Never. Because it's not true. You
yeah.
should only trust people that tell you this framework is bullshit, and yet we have to figure it out. Only trust people like that.
Only trust the people that are going
Yeah.
to tell you nothing will be perfect, but we should try our best anyways.
What's the famous clip that gets every time someone brings him up or makes a video about him on you or whatever? They always some clip where he's just like, "Oh, democracy and like freedom are not something about democracy and freedom."
Oh, it's
are not
Peter Thiel.
compatible. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
It's just like, what does that even mean? When did he say that? They always say that, and I don't ever see the source or anything, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, what setting did he say that? That literally doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
It was some podcast because he's a bro. But
Yeah.
the fact that you, bro, to me that's treason. That's borderline treason saying that. I understand we have the free speech First Amendment in this country, but to tell us that democracy
I think
and freedom are not
that is
compatible
treason
is
to the
somewhat
heart of
treasonous.
what this country should be. Correct.
Absolutely.
Correct.
Like, fuck you in a million ways till Sunday for saying that. What a shitbag. And you know what? We should try and dig into whatever context he has to justify that at some point.
No,
because I am
there
curious.
is
I've
none.
heard that quote.
Don't even say that in that sense, but go ahead.
Yeah, but you know that he has to at least try and explain that. He
Sure.
has to have a rationale for that
Sure.
to be palatable. But so I'm just curious what that is because I've heard that quote a bunch of times attributed to him.
Right.
But like, what
I
could
don't
you
know.
possibly?
Right, exactly. So we should do that.
What do you mean?